Hello. If I end up posting this, I don't know. There's people at my pool in our complex across the way, and they're kind of loud, but they're having fun, so that's nice. It's cool when people have fun and they're loud. It doesn't bother me that much. So, as I already said, I don't know if I want to post this. This is just I guess you could say, behind the scenes. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because I'm preparing for next week's forecast videos. And I just can't get a clear understanding of some things that I'm looking at in these charts. I feel kind of foggy. So I wanted to go through some insights that I'm getting with cards to kind of maybe clarify, maybe get some new information. If I post this, it'll be like an extras. I don't know, what am I missing? What insights are ready to come out about these transits? So I was trying to find a clear summation of next week's planetary energies, but it's really difficult. So I'm just going to go through what I have so far. And it's like a preparation for next week. So this is the forecast for June 28th. This is the hard part for me, is these dates. June 28th through July 4th or 5th. I'll clarify it later. So what am I getting initially? It feels like this week could be a shift in how we carry stuff, responsibility, obligation, perceptions of our strength, certain insecurities around incapability. That's just what it seems like with a lot of these. We have, hold on. We have a lot of cardinal energy coming up. Cardinal signs are trying to figure out if we're ready for new stuff. That's cardinal energy. The cardinal signs kick off the seasons, which is a big responsibility. So cardinal energy can come in and it brings a sense of weight with it. People with a lot of cardinal energy, they feel like they're supposed to do something really important. They feel pressured to take a lot on externally and internally, which is intense. Cardinal signs, Cancer, Capricorn, Libra. They are the signs that are willing to take burdens internally and externally. So we may feel like we need to shift our sense of responsibility this week. Kind of gives the vibe of pretending to be too strong or wanting to be perceived as really strong. So what else we got here? Gosh, it's really hard to sum this up. We got Jupiter shifting into Leo, and we have Mercury retrograding through Cancer, which is a review of attachments, emotional attachments, in a practical way. What am I giving to people from the inner reserves? That's Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Like, does this function? That is always Mercury's question. How is this functioning? So this week could be a time for assessing the functionality of certain attachments to people, things, sentiments. Like, does this still work? Is this still a thing that has a utilizing purpose? What is the word? Is this still a thing that I can utilize practically, or am I giving too much? And with Mercury, we always have the concept of the psychology of certain things, really thinking a lot about the past. Is Mercury retrograde in Cancer? Oh gosh, I'm still struggling to find a summation. So Jupiter's leaving Cancer next week. This gave me the vibe of shifting from being the main character in the past. Hear me out, it sounds kind of weird. Jupiter in Cancer is the energy of being entangled in emotional expansion. And we're shifting to Jupiter in Leo, which brings us more expression in terms of who do we want to be. So if Jupiter in Cancer is a review of who we are internally, like all the ways we've expanded emotionally, Jupiter in Leo, we get to come out of that emotional entanglement where everything is processing how we feel. Jupiter in Cancer, you can't expand until you process your feels. Now, this isn't going to be true for everybody. None of this that I'm saying is true for everybody. But it's been true for me. I feel as though the past year with Jupiter in Cancer, I've been reviewing my character through the emotional lens. And this shift from Jupiter in Cancer to Jupiter in Leo, it feels like detangling from who we've had to be because of emotional baggage or emotional perception that gets stuck. We're going from that to who do you want to be? You can finally expand past the past. All right, I'm gonna pull some cards. What is the thread that I'm missing? This is why I'm doing this right now. I'm having a really hard time compiling clear thoughts about these transits. So what am I missing? What are the strongest themes for next week? Okay, I'm probably missing something. I just feel like I need to summarize it better, but maybe I'm not supposed to. Okay, strong themes possibly for next week. Five of Pentacles. We're off to a great start. There is the scarcity, feeling responsible for mending scarcity. And we have Three of Wands reversed, feeling locked out. This is the wandering of sorts. So that kind of feels Jupiterian. Jupiter is wandering, it's expansion. But here we have Three of Wands reversed, which is to say not yet. There's an expansion that's being delayed. Okay, so delayed expansion. We have Page of Cups reversed. Talking about where to go. We're communicating with ourselves when it comes to where to go and how to expand. So inner dialogue is coming through, which is something I've missed, which makes sense with Mercury in Cancer retrograde. And it makes sense because Mercury is going to be conjunct Jupiter when it goes retrograde. So here we have an opportunity to kind of talk with ourselves and get an inner dialogue going, hidden communications about where do you want to go. Because that is the big shift with Jupiter this week. Like I said, we've figured out kind of who we've had to be because of circumstances in our lives. Now it's time to figure out who we want to be by growing past the past. Then we got the Lovers, decisions, communication styles, trying to see who is on the same page. Okay, there's like an emotional check-in. Cool. Emotional check-in. Are you on the same page as me? Kind of reflection. Are we really going somewhere expansive, or are we going to hit the same dead ends? That's what it feels like. Fear of hitting a dead end could be something that pops up, especially with Five of Pentacles here. So there's concern possibly for whether or not certain people are on the same page as us. It's what is it? Reciprocity is the word, which I got in the report. So that's cool. Then we have the King of Cups reversed, maturity. What is a mature decision? Here is something that is confirming what I already got about this week that I'm having difficulty sorting through. It feels like a time to examine the concept of enabling. Where is it that we step in when we don't need to help people? There's something here coming through. It's echoing the forecast I've already done that I will be working on. So where do we step in where somebody should do something themselves, but we're stepping in because we want to help? The concept of enabling and how enabling forms attachments that feel like burdens. Cool. Not cool, but it is important sort of check-in. Next row, justice. What's fair in terms of scarcity? Feeling like we're being shortchanged in some way, wanting to rectify being shortchanged. Now there is something I was getting in the forecast with the full moon and Saturn. There is something about this full moon that I was getting about justice. And there it is. So I might explore that more, or I might wait until I do the full moon video. I don't know. Okay. This is like checks and balances in relationships time to a certain extent. Two of Swords reversed. Can't see. So this is hitting roadblocks, possibly. I don't know if it'll be accurate. Hitting roadblocks when it comes to expansion, because Jupiter. It's interesting how what I've been feeling lately is that sometimes in order to move forward, you have to hit a block first. You can't just always, well, obviously you can't always get what you want in life, but there's something that I've been picking up where we're in a phase possibly of hitting blocks that are very purposeful. And here it is again. Meeting the resistance in life is a way to move forward. It's really contradictory and weird. Then we have 2 cups reverse. Yeah. Checking in. Important conversations. Do you feel how I feel? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, I guess you could say? Checking on reciprocity. It's big. It keeps coming up because of Mercury in Cancer. That is the energy of I've been feeling like this and I'm ready to see if there's anybody out there who feels the same way. Being able to see how people feel, whether for better or for worse. And we have Four of Pentacles. Checking the foundation. There's a weight of a decision, and the weight of this decision is directly attached to foundations we've built. Then we have the Queen of Cups, the King and the Queen. It's counterpart. Counterpart energy. We need clarifiers. Counterpart. It's all over this reading. Looking for reflections in relationships emotionally. That's what this feels like as well. Let's get some clarifiers. Okay. Justice is clarified by the ether. Unseen. Like really having to dig deep down to figure out what's fair. What are we giving away that's not being reciprocated? Okay. What is our internal meter of justice? Sometimes we ignore it, and the full moon specifically feels like it's almost like a parking meter vibe, which sometimes these stupid metaphors pop in. A parking meter. You pay parking and you just kind of forget about it, and eventually you got to pay it again. It's a check-in, some sort of metering for what's fair, what's not, what am I giving, what am I not giving. And it's stuff we don't look at a lot, possibly. Oh, great, a shape card. I love these. This is what I don't like about the Supra Oracle. It's what this is called. I don't even know where the book is right now. Where is it? Oh, I don't. Oh, here it is. I'll explain. This is not a deck review, but it could be, I guess. I love this deck, but it's super. It's like over your head, kind of pretentiously. It feels like to me. Like when I read the book and it's super vague, I'm like, this is so vague and so nebulous. And I always complain when I pull one of these, there's no words, it's just a shape. And I call these the shape cards. I'm like, great, a shape card again. Anyway, what is this? Oh, I gotta find it. It's a goose chase now, gosh dang it. Oh gosh. It's coming out of the it's coming out of the clouds. Okay. Here we go. It says heavens. And look, it's a paragraph. This is why I don't like it. I love this deck, but I don't like this. I don't like it when it's so vague that it could fit anything. Like even when I do astrology, I try really hard to make sure I'm clarifying as much as I can so that it's not just so vague that it'll apply to anything. Which that is a layer of divination where that's something that happens. It makes sense because it's so vague, right? So I'm always looking for the specifics. Anyway, it says, the azure enchantment of the heavens hold all of our bliss, an ever-active emanation of the great spirit of life, sworn into secret, circular splendor, and filled with the inherent mystery of the life immortal. Does that say anything? I don't know. It says, fathomless, ancient, inherent, implicitness beyond. Okay, what I'm getting from this is that these are things that we don't check in with enough, that might pop up. And it's almost kind of feels like a karmic check-in when it comes to reciprocity, where it's like, hey, I haven't thought about this in a while. I haven't checked in with this person. I haven't checked in with myself about how I feel, about where things are going. What am I getting out of putting emotional weight into certain things or people? Ancient. There is something very old feeling about the full moon that I was getting that I'll talk about at another time. Then we have Daemon. Oh wow. Demon. What a cool. See, this deck is really beautiful. I'm not trying to complain about it too much. Demon, though, what is going on in this picture? There is a headless figure, all right, shackled by the hands. That's exactly what I need because I'm always talking with my hands. I need this setup here. And there's a not so nice looking creature. It's almost, it looks like being cleansed. That's what that looks like to me. Would you want to be cleansed by this figure? Probably not. Maybe it's facing illusions about, well, I took care of that, I cleansed that, I'm free, I can move on with my life. Like, what are the things we've stored away thinking we've cleansed it or dealt with it or resolved it? Or the things where it shows no sign of itself in our immediate daily life, but it's still there. Because I don't know what else to make of this imagery. That's what it feels like. And also, the vibe of this figure is chained by the hands, but they're still reaching out for relief. So that is another energy of reaching to the dark side for some kind of relief. I don't want to go too wacky with this. Basically, what is lurking in the shadows that we could think is nourishing, but it's really not? Okay. What about clarifying the Five of Pentacles? Oh, great. Another shape card. Love it. Another shape card. Let's see. What is this one? I'm sorry, Supra. It's just sacred geometry. That's what this is. This section. Okay. Terra firma. Unsparing, wild, self-contemplated, restive, and destiny. The living mystery of the earth, discovered in the simple yet monumental ground below us, is the primary direct experience of human consciousness. It's where we're all rooted. We're all rooted in some way in scarcity. We all accept that life can be hard. But how are we reviewing the deeper mechanics of things we've accepted? Well, this is just what I'm going to struggle with. It's okay. I'm going to take this on just because I'm used to it. There's that kind of energy. It kind of goes with this. Complacency about certain burdens where we couldn't figure out why we had to take them on, but we did anyway. An example I will be open with and share from my own life so that this makes sense is my relationship with my mom. I love my mom. She's done a lot for me in my life, and I'm very grateful. She was very loving, like in a verbal sense, in a provider type sense. We've had a complicated relationship though, where I have felt like I take on a lot of her emotional burdens. I feel like I give her insight sometimes. This is a whole, I don't want to like go too deep into this. It's very personal. I feel like sometimes I have to be her eyes in the world. Like I protect her. I feel like it's been sort of an inverted relationship at times where I feel like I've had to parent her. So I could never figure out why, like, why me kind of thing. Maybe during this retrograde or whatever aspect this is coming from, we'll be able to figure out some of the why, or at least how the why functions in our lives. Then we have Earth. Yeah, just the way it is. Here's the structure. Kind of a fascinating contemplation. Really thinking about the structure of this is the way it is. This is just how it is. How does it function in an individual sense? That's also Leo, Jupiter. Leo is all about the individual. Like, forget about the group for a time. That's Leo. And we have improbability. What are the odds? So we have Five of Pentacles, Terra Firma, Earth, and improbability. How do we shut down in the face of what we perceive to be bad odds is coming to mind. Okay. Did I want to go through anything else here? I'm trying to think. We're already at 31 minutes. I think this helped me get more of my thoughts together. Let's see. Yeah, that's really all I wanted to ask was like a common, like, what are the strongest energies coming up? Okay, I think I'm going to end this here. Yeah, I might do this as like an extras. It's kind of fun. Okay, I'll be back with more junk. Bye. Thanks for watching. Bye.